Hey guys, and welcome to another New World video. In today's video, I wanted to make a list of things that I have learned over my time playing New World. These are things many of you may already know, but all of us wish we knew on day one when first starting out. Had I have known these on day one, I may have saved myself a ton of headache, a lot of gold, and of course time, a lot of time. So my hope is that sharing these with new players may give them an edge entering into a tournament that many of us didn't have, making their play experience that much better. So let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to share is your quick bar. Items in this bar do not have weight that count towards your carry weight. So one of the first things I always recommend to a new player is to take the 10 or 15 minutes when you first start to collect fresh water and place it on this bar. You can carry thousands of water in this slot ready for when you need it, and you will need it. You will use it for making healing potions and many other things. Also, in a pinch you can drink it to heal, and it doesn't use your cooldown for potions, so it's a small but quick and free heal, which sometimes can save your life, especially at low level. You can of course also do this with honey, berries, raw meat, fish, and things like that, which can come in handy when making large amounts of food items, leveling your cooking skill. The next thing I wanted to show you is about inventory management. Too often new players accidentally salvage something they didn't want to, or just get bogged down salvaging the tons of crap while crafting or adventuring. Well, to begin with, when you get a piece of gear you want to keep, you can open your inventory and find that item. Now, hold the L key and click it. This will lock that item so it cannot be salvaged until you manually unlock it. Now for salvaging. If you have crafted 100 iron swords, or you've been out on a run, or whatever, you have found yourself with a bag full of junk you want to salvage. Instead of clicking each item and choosing salvage, you can just hold the control key plus S at the same time and just click the items in your bag. They will auto salvage very fast and easy. This is why I told you to lock things first though, because sometimes it can be too fast and too easy. This also works for repairing items in your bag. If you hold Control plus the R key, you can go through your bag, one click repairing any damaged items that you wish to be repaired. The next thing I wanted to talk about is traveling. Many people I've met while playing are confused about the fast travel system in the game, although I can see why. It is confusing. To begin, when you are out in the open world exploring, you have to visit a travel shrine in order to fast travel. However, this does not apply to your houses or your inn locations. You can fast travel to those from anywhere just by using the map at any time, as long as they are not on cooldown. Also, I don't know why they even put fast travel shrines in settlements. There is no point to them. When you are within the borders of any settlement, all you have to do to fast travel is click the M key, look at your map, and choose the location you would like to travel to, and there you go. There is no need to go to these shrines within settlements at all. The cost of traveling is based on a couple factors. If your faction doesn't own the region you are trying to travel to, this will make it a lot more expensive to travel there. Also, how much weight you are carrying will dramatically increase the Azoth cost of fast travel. So if you are carrying items you don't need right now, put them in your storage because you're wasting your Azoth. Also, distance will increase the cost of your fast travel. So when questing or farming, it is always a good idea to plan where you will be the most, and buy houses and move your inn locations around to accommodate. On the topic of crafting, there are a few things about crafting that are not obvious right away to the new player. When you are about to craft something, always be sure to check and see if the material boxes have an arrow on them signifying a drop-down menu. Some items, although they will default to the most expensive material, actually have a much cheaper option available to you. This is important in two cases. If you are trying to level a profession, you will always want to set this to the least expensive, as the result of the item is not important. Simply making a lot of them is. Now alternatively, if you are a max crafter in that crafting field and are attempting to make the best possible quality item, you're going to want to adjust these drop-down boxes to the materials that will yield the highest quality result, so always check on these. You will see loads of guides online written by media gamers that will tell you need 127k rawhide farmed or 300k fibers farmed to bypass a certain level of a trade skill. Do not let these numbers scare you off of leveling that trade skill. They got these numbers by taking the total experience needed, dividing it by the number of X item you're crafting, and multiplying it by the mats to craft that item. So on paper, to a person who hasn't played the game, that makes sense. However, it is a lot different in reality of the game. When you gather any raw resource, you will have to refine it to be used, for example, fibers to linen, or linen to sateen, or sateen to silk, and so on. During this process, you will have a chance to get bonus items, a pretty generous chance at that. So often, you will end up farming 5,000 rawhide, and through the process of refining it to be used, you will end up turning it into 15,000 or more. This is important to understand, so don't stress over the numbers. This leads me to crafting reagents, like crossweave and tannin. The higher the tier of the crafting reagent, the higher the potential is for additional free items while refining. The bonus here is that because now a large percentage of the player base is doing higher level content, the cost of these higher tier reagents has dropped in some cases considerably. So when you look into buying them, consider checking the higher tier first, because in most cases, they are far cheaper than their lower tier counterpart. This will greatly increase your refining yield. Be aware of crafting tax. It is a very small number at the bottom of your crafting screen below the craft button. This can add up to a ton when crafting mass amounts of things while you are leveling. Too often players have complained that they went broke simply by crafting in a high tax town not paying attention. This tax can add up to 9,000 plus gold, crafting items in the 150 to 200 range to max it. Whenever possible, craft things at your camp, low level items, travel rations, etc. There is no tax at your camp, and wherever you can save tax, do it. Now that we are on the topic of camps, there are many low-level items you can craft at your camp. Like I mentioned, travel rations, health potions, mana potions, etc. This can be used as a great way to power level your standing in an area for free. If there is a region you want to raise your standing in, whether it is to buy a home or just to get the regional buffs, set up your camp in that region and farm the materials to make rations or potions in mass amounts. This will very quickly raise your standing in that region with very little effort and will cost you nothing. As you level throughout New World, you will have the option to upgrade your camp. This is a very important and recommended thing to do. When you upgrade your camp, it allows you to craft the travel ration tier of the camp tier, removing the need to travel to high-level kitchens to make them. But the camp upgrade system can be a little confusing to some people, especially if they have missed it in the early levels. So at level 15, you will want to head to Monarch's Bluff and complete the quest series Friends with Fashion. This will get you one camp tier upgrade. Then, at level 25, head to Cutlass Keys and complete Animal Instincts. This will again award you with one camp upgrade. At 40, complete Lupine Observations in Relentless Shore, and so on. The reason I explain this is because many people I have met are 60 and have completed some of those quests but not all of them, and can't figure out why their camp is tier 4 and they can't upgrade it. The quests are not tier specific. They simply provide you with +1 upgrade, so it doesn't matter what order you do them in, you simply have to do them all to get a tier 5 camp. Now I'd like to look at weapon skill leveling. A lot of new players around level 25 to 30 start to notice that monsters they are killing are starting to give less weapon experience, or in some cases none. This often leads them to believe that at 60 it is going to be very difficult to level weapons because of the level difference, so they go into a panic frenzy grinding weapon XP until they frankly are burnt out and hate the game. This is sadly a complete misconception and is unnecessary. It is true that as you level, lower level creatures will give you far less experience for your weapon. However, at 60, this changes completely. At 60, almost any creature of any level gives you a beefy chunk of weapon XP, making leveling your weapon skills at 60 a lot easier. It is still a grind, but nowhere near the one that you will endure early game. So just play the game with your desired weapon set, and your weapon skill will level with you naturally from killing things you encounter as you go. Then at 60, you can easily and solo grind out the weapon skills needed for your alternative weapons, so don't stress over it, it'll be okay. Another thing is your faction missions. Each day you are given 3 bonuses applied to your missions. This gives you an additional 10 times the gold when you turn them in, although the tooltip doesn't directly display this, so be careful. Make sure you turn in 3 of your highest gold payout missions first. Look for ones that offer 20 to 24 gold. This will give you a boost of 500 to 700 gold per day simply for turning those in. There are some amazing tools available to you while playing New World. They're not integrated into the game, but will, however, change how you play and make things feel a lot easier. One of these is the interactive map. This is an invaluable tool. You can simply type something into the side and it will show up on the map exactly where it is for you to get it, farm it, or whatever. You can use it to create farming routes, plan your quests and turn-ins, set up chest runs, find elite farm locations so you don't have to feel silly asking, and so on. Anything in Aeternum you could possibly want to find, you can find on this map. I have put a link to it in the description. Next is the New World database. This website can be an amazing resource for anyone who's looking for a particular item. item, or even ideas on where to farm. You simply type the item name into the top bar and it will show you the monsters that drop it, the level required for it to drop, and everything about the item. So you see, these two tools, open while playing, can really change how the game feels and give you a confidence you may have lacked while venturing forward. Well guys, that's all I will cover today. There are many more, and I could go on forever, but I don't want to waste any more of your valuable time. So all I ask is that if you have any great tips you think a new player would benefit from, please feel free to post them in the comments, and hopefully between this video and the comments you post, you can help some new people to not make those painful mistakes we all did early game. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.